Hello and welcome back to the Crystal Witch Oracle Tarot. It's so wonderful to have you here with me today, and happy Monday to you. This is a reading for the week of the 21st to the 27th of July. I have a good feeling about this week, and so I decided to use this lovely deck, which is the Crazy Sexy Love Notes from Chris Carr. It's one of the first oracle decks I was ever gifted, and it has a special place in my heart, and it's just a very lovely, upbeat and vibrant oracle deck. So I'm excited to pull us some cards from there today. And then of course I have my trusty the Star Tarot by Kathy McKelland, so we'll be diving into that as well. We just had our second Capricorn full moon yesterday, Sunday, and I hope that it was a beautiful weekend for you and that you felt the beautiful energies of that full moon, bringing in transformation and exciting new opportunities into your world. So let's get a card from Crazy Sexy Love Notes. That's a bit too many. Let's see what this deck wants to tell us today. It's not very talkative. So please bear with me while I shuffle. I prefer to shuffle and allow jumpers out of the pack. I don't choose cards because I feel like that is not necessarily spirit, or it's just the way I prefer to read. Everybody has their own ways. What beautiful cards to get this week. We've got play, and then we have wishes fulfilled. See, I told you I had a good feeling about this week. So what a cute little card. These beautiful dogs bouncing around with the ball and looking absolutely joyful. And you know, dogs are especially wonderful creatures because they really truly live in the moment. They are I think they're unique from other animals maybe living in the wild, where they don't necessarily watch their back as much. You know, they're very trusting, and because you know, often when they're domesticated dogs and they have a loving family especially, they have the opportunity to just genuinely be at their most beautiful core, the essence of genuine being. You know, no fear about the future, no worries about, you know, their needs not being met, and it gives them the freedom to genuinely live in the moment and to play and to have fun. And I know that that's difficult for us in our lives because sometimes we don't necessarily have the same, you know, safety and security in our lives, but it doesn't mean that we don't have the capacity to play and to make time for play in our lives, and to genuinely just frolic in a meadow if we need to. You know, when was the last time that you frolicked in a meadow? You know, what a beautiful experience to genuinely just put your feet in the grass and dance around, you know, play, have fun. Spend some quality time with, you know, friends and people that you care about. So what a beautiful message. And on the back of the card it says, self-care includes having fun. Are you playing enough, darling? Do you have enough free time, or are you booked to the minute? I'm very guilty of that. Life goes by so darn fast. Make sure to have a blast along the way. Play connects us to our childlike curiosity and zest. When life feels too serious, toss aside your to-do list and make room for the stuff that turns you on. Go to the movies. Have an adult slumber party. Swing at the playground. You're never too old to say wee. Let the fun shine in and live a little or a lot. I love that. So what a beautiful message. And then we have this beautiful wishes fulfilled card, which is actually one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's such a beautiful image, you know, of, I see these as like intentions going out into the world, and then we have all this beautiful orange and yellow in the background, which is just a lot of, you know, happiness and sunshine. It makes me think of the sun card in the tarot, which is just all about wishes fulfilled. Exactly. Joy, happiness, you know, all those beautiful things in the world. And I just love this. I think that, you know, when we do set our intentions for what we genuinely truly want within our lives, and we just trust and believe with no concern, you know, without worrying about the outcome, and when we can bring fun into the situation and to just play with life, we can really manifest some absolutely incredible things. You know, it's interesting. I think about times in my life when I have really seen my manifestations come through quickly and easily. It was times in my life when I felt more in flow with life, when I really trusted the outcome of life, and where I was having more fun, you know, when I was playing more often, when I was spending more time with friends, when I was connected to life in this really beautiful way. And you start to see things come into your life based on your intentions, you know, where your attention goes, energy flows. That whole saying of, you know, when you focus on something and you have an intention for something, you'll start to see it in your life. But you have to be part of life. You have to be present in life, and you actually have to interact with life also in order for these things to come through. And I feel like that can be difficult sometimes. I know that many of us, myself included, felt like after you know, the incident that we had a few years ago where we all had to spend a lot of time indoors and we didn't necessarily get to leave the house or see our family and our loved ones. I feel like a lot of us are still very much trapped in that space of absolute hermit mode, which is okay. You know, I feel like that's also got its place in our lives, but life is meant for living. And I've also been feeling lately that call to really just get out there more and to start living a bit more. So let this be some inspiration for us all to really get out in the world and really truly see our wishes fulfilled. So the message on the back of the card is, your wishes have been germinating. They're deeply planted in the soil of the loving universe. And fulfillment is here or just around the corner, but faith is required. When we put ourselves out there, it's easy to get deflated if what we want doesn't materialize right away. Have confidence. You are more than capable of manifesting your deepest desires. It's all happening, dear one. What a beautiful start to our reading. I'm just going to move these over here so that you can still see them at the top there. And then we can get stuck into our tarot cards. So I'm excited to see what comes out. You know, genuinely feel like there is a bit of a lift in the energy. And I do think that that's from the clearing out that we just had, you know, from Pluto moving back into Capricorn for its final little cleanup round, like its little inspection of what loose ends were left behind. You know, really just the last little dregs of the old situation. I keep having this metaphor in my mind of, you know, having had the carpets ripped out of a house and like having the house a little bit gutted, and now the building site inspector is coming along just one last time to check if everything is in order so that we can go ahead and start building the foundations for the new renovation. Okay, we've got 5 cards today, which is a little bit more than I have been doing, but I am going to trust it and just see what is coming out for us today. I'm making a bit of extra space here. Okay, these are all going to be upside down, and I don't read reversals for this deck. Oh, they're not all upside down. Okay, beautiful 8 of Cups over there. Oh, how interesting. I'll tell you why. I was actually laughing because I knew I had a feeling that this was going to come out, funny enough, because I did a pre-shuffle before the reading started, and I actually haven't done. I normally do shuffle the cards before, but I normally don't pull cards. I just shuffle the deck just to get my energy into the deck. And this time around, the devil actually flew out. So it wanted to be seen. And it was really interesting because I just knew. I was like, my intuition's been so strong lately. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, it's really been on point. And it's been really interesting to see. And I think a lot of people actually have, their gifts and their psychic abilities coming to the fore right now. So I can definitely see that within myself. And it's really actually quite interesting and really wonderful to see. And like, this knowing has just been so strong lately. And I'm so grateful. What this is just very interesting energy, I must say. So first things first that I'm seeing is all these moons connecting over here. So this feels like, to me personally, this feels like a cycle. So this is a full moon, a new moon, and a full moon. So potentially what could be happening is that by the next full moon, so the full moon of August, we might see some real breakthroughs for ourselves. Could be that you are breaking out and away from some bad habits, some bad relationships, some bad situations, addictions, or anything of that kind. Or it could just be that you are coming into balance with your own power and embracing a bit more self-love and self-respect, because I feel like these three cards at the bottom are talking about a little bit of maybe an unclear sort of experience that we might be having, a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of clouded judgment. But then once we break free from this, we move on to this beautiful energy of the Eight of Cups and the Four of Swords, which is rest and rejuvenation and safety. So I am curious to know if you are feeling a bit in the dark right now. Are you feeling a little bit like maybe you're not able to play? And maybe, this card talked about having faith and trusting that your abundance and your wishes can come in. And maybe circumstantially right now you don't feel like that's a possibility. We have the moon card, which is all about not seeing things clearly, having things kind of a little bit, I want to say, hidden, and just lots of fuzziness. Even me trying to describe this card, I'm feeling like, struggling to formulate my words. I'm struggling to really say what I mean here. And I feel like that is kind of the energy of the moon as well, where it really is, it's foggy. It's like we can kind of see it, but we can't 100% see it. It's like looking through a frosted window. It's like you can make the outlines and you can see the shapes and the shadows, but you can't see the full picture. You can't see it in full definition. But we also have, we've got the phases of the moon here on these two pillars. And then we have the wolves on either side of the pillar, and they are the guardians of this journey that we're undertaking into the unknown. Right. And then it's also a duality. So, it's always about duality, I guess. But, it's about understanding that, again, sometimes we go from darkness into light, and then we go from light back into darkness. And that's just kind of the way that life works. So that's saying to me, just don't worry too much about the uncertainty that you might be facing right now. Even though things might feel a bit unclear right now, that's okay, because eventually things will make more sense. But you have to travel this route into the unknown, into the forest, into the depths, and have some twists and turns, going up into the pyramid. of light, and really just trusting the process of that. Even if you can't always tell your way, there will be light at the end of the tunnel, I want to say. And there's deep wisdom in it. There's deep wisdom in, we've got this owl over here. There's deep wisdom in having this experience in and of itself, where the path is unclear, where we don't know what's going on, where we have to genuinely just trust in the universe, trust that spirit has our back, instead of trying to. I feel like, yeah, okay, I just got that note now to say that, often we can feel like in order to move forward in our lives, we need to have full control of the situation. And like we need to have all the details and all the knowledge before we can act. And I know I'm guilty of this as well. I feel often like I need all the information before I can move forward with something. But, it's just sometimes you're not going to have it. And sometimes you just have to move forward anyway and really just trust that you will be given everything that you need on the path, and not to doubt yourself and your abilities, and we've got this Two of Swords over here, which is, it's like cutting yourself off, protecting yourself from, maybe wanting to see things clearly as well, not allowing things into your space. It's like this big X of like, oh no, leave me alone. Like, don't come too close to me. And that can also be a protective sort of armor. And that can also reflect that sort of lack of trust, lack of wanting to go with the flow, and really just allowing life to show us where we need to be led, who needs to come into our path, accepting help even. If you're somebody that struggles with accepting help, then it's gonna be really difficult for you to also trust the flow of life. You're not going to feel comfortable with saying, okay, universe, I trust you. Just, give me what I need, bring the people into my life that can help me and support me. Or even if you do get those people that come into your life, you still might not be able to even accept them, and then that's what you end up doing, is blocking your blessings, because the universe sends us things, and if we don't accept the blessing, then we can't complain, because it's like if someone brings, so you ask for somebody to support you through a difficult time or whatever, and then a friend reaches out to you and says, hey, I'm thinking of you, are you okay? And you say, I'm fine, thanks, I don't need anything, I'm okay. And you just completely block your blessing, and you asked for the support from spirit, but now you're not accepting it. And I feel like that's living in two different realities, it's living in two totally different, this is your what's hidden from the world, and then this is what you show the world. But sometimes we really have to be a bit vulnerable and just trust that a higher self and spirit, this part of ourselves that lives in this subconscious, has our best interest in heart and won't lead us astray, and that we can trust ourselves and trust others as well, obviously within reason, but that you can trust yourself to make the best decisions for yourself. And it's okay for you to accept help. It's okay for you to allow your blessings to come in this life, And I know it can be hard, because especially when we're dealing with energies like this, which is the devil card, can be really challenging, because this can talk about disconnection. It can talk about challenges within relationships. It can talk about addictions. It can talk about distraction, disillusionment, just absolute being in the dark, really, just not like, if you see these two figures, they are They are lonely. They are separated from each other. Even though there is so much infinite potential for both of them, they are both living in this cosmic womb. They both have so much potential, but you can see it almost looks like a pity party. For pity party for one, and feeling so separated, even though that there is so much closeness, so close within reach. All you need to do is break out of those invisible bonds that you place around yourself sometimes, and this illusion that we can really face within life sometimes, where we do feel like other things are controlling us, putting us down, external situations that we might be dealing with that we feel like are not allowing us to be our true selves. But the truth is that it's always us. It's always within our ability and our capacity to embody our true nature. And I was speaking with a friend yesterday as well about, the aspect of people pleasing and feeling like we need to be a certain way in order for people to accept us and for people to genuinely love and care for us. And can be really, really terrifying to show up as your true self when you feel like people might think of you as the devil. I think about myself with tarot even, and I have similar fears sometimes where I haven't even told some of the people that are closest to me just yet, because I know that the relationship with them will likely end, because in their mind, tarot is from the devil, and that's quite hard, and it's not an easy thing to break out of. So I truly have so much compassion for you, because I'm not saying that I'm perfect either, and I know that it's difficult, and it's complicated sometimes. But if you can start to take even small steps towards showing up for your true self, and to genuinely love and appreciate and respect your true self, if you can get to that point that you are so solid within yourself and so loving and respectful of yourself, none of this can harm you. You won't have the need for addiction, because you will heal your shame, your inner shame. And often addictions come from shame, deeply rooted within shame. And you won't feel that separateness, because you'll be connected with yourself and you'll understand that you have your own back. And it's okay if other people don't. This is something I'm really working on myself. As I say, even taking steps to start this YouTube channel is part of that process for me, where I'm starting to really embody myself self more, in the process of uncovering my own shame and uncovering my own need for validation and my own desire for needing to fit in, I guess, to be loved. And it's small steps, it's baby steps, it's not all, you can rip the band-aid off all at once if you're brave enough, and if you're strong enough to do that, then I take my hat off to you. I know I'm not, and it's okay. It's okay to take slow steps. It's okay to not be 100% ready from the get-go. It's okay to have fears and concerns about what the people that you love will think and how they'll be impacted. But again, if you can really just start to embody your own strength, it can be much easier for you to really start to just live your life the way that you're supposed to. Be the person that you're supposed to be, the person that you came here to be, And once you start doing that and really just embracing life and having fun with life and playing, you'll start to see your wishes being fulfilled. You'll start to see your abundance come in, especially as we can see this beautiful 8 of Cups. There's a rainbow, there's a beautiful star shining its light out here. We've got the dove, we've got the dove of peace. Interesting. I've just seen we've got another moon there, and it's another flow. It looks like it's flowing back into, so it's full moon, new moon, or crescent moon, full moon, and then we've got what looks like a new moon over here. So it could even be that by the next new moon, you might see your blessings come in. So that would be in October. You might see something really, really beautiful come in for you, and just gonna be a completely different horizon for you, because I don't want to say it's all going to be amazing right off the bat, because as we can see, this person is still underneath what looks like a wave flowing upwards, but this is still there's a lot going on here still, right? This is still a lot of emotion, a lot of there's still some darkness, there's still some feeling this being on the bottom. It makes me think like I'm feeling not bottom feeder, but the silt, the murkiness, that cloudedness that comes from, if you've ever seen dive videos or something where the silt is disturbed on the bottom of the floor of the seafloor by bottom feeders, or by anything else, and it just sends up this cloud of murk and you can't see anything at the bottom. So there's still a little bit of that, but we're rising up out of that. If we can break free of this journey that we're going on, of cloudedness, of not seeing the full picture, of not trusting ourselves to see the full picture, of having this inner conflict about whether or not we can do it, and being afraid to be seen by the world and by the people that we care about and we love. If we can move out of that, then we can embrace this beautiful future that Spirit wants to bless us with, and newness, new opportunities, this new moon that's over here. And I mean, we've even got a dove in the bottom of the ocean along with the dolphin, which is quite funny to me. But it's a symbol of breaking free, right? It's a symbol of peace and unity. I mean, when God wanted a signal to Noah that the flood was over, he sent him a dove. And it's a signal that the hard times, the difficult times, the murky times, we can leave that behind. But we have to be willing to move towards the light. We have to be willing to trust Spirit. Because, I mean, when you're in the bottom here, you don't have a choice but to go up, right? But you don't know what you're going to find up there. You don't know. Are you going to be saved? Are you going to be rescued? Are you going to, see a beautiful mountain with a beautiful rainbow on top? Or are you going to break through? We don't know, but we have to take the chance, right? We have to trust our instincts, our animal instincts. Dolphins are animals that are incredibly, I feel like they're very intuitive beings. They're often in nature as well, like show up in a way that I feel is very intuitive, like helping people, saving people, maybe from drowning or whatever. They just know that person's in trouble. And I mean, it's quite unusual because, human beings and dolphins are not the same species. We don't speak the same language, but they can sense our need and they fulfill that need for us. So, really trusting your intuition and trusting that you will get the leg up that you need. You'll have the support that you need. Even if you feel like you're drowning, you're not alone. Spirit will always be there to help you through the darkness and leading you back up into alignment, into perfect harmony with life, Then finally we have this Four of Swords card, and this is all about deep rest. So it could be that through this period of this dark journey that we're heading through, we might need to be hibernating a bit more. We might need to be resting a little bit more. If you feel as though you need some time out, maybe you do just need a little bit of like a hermit mode. I joke about being in the hermit mode. Or it could even be talking about coming out of this space, coming towards the end of winter. I mean, this man is sleeping, but the bears are awake. And maybe the bears are trying to say, hey, buddy, it's time to wake up. We've been in this space of darkness for too long. And, it's time to leave the safety of this hibernation. Oh, yeah, actually, sorry. I I got chills now when I said that, because I do feel like that is exactly it. It's that message of come out to play. Come out to play. Come out to, and that was what I was talking about in the beginning of the reading, where we can feel like maybe we have been in this deep state of hibernation, of rest, and in this dark sort of space that we've been in, or this not dark space, but this cloudy space, this unsure space, and not knowing, what the next sort of steps are. But at some point, in order to fulfill your life, we've got a salmon down here. Salmon have this ritual that they have to fulfill once a year, where they actually have to travel upstream against the current, against everything, in order to be able to spawn in the specific area that they need to spawn. And I mean, they face threat from bears, from human beings, from all kinds of animals. And you try flopping as a fish upstream. I mean, it's crazy, but it's what they've got to do, right? And they really have to put themselves out there. And if that's what it takes, it doesn't matter. They will do it, because that is what they have to do. That's their purpose. That's their driving ambition in life. And, I feel like if we want the same things in our life, if we have certain things that we want to achieve and experience, and we want to complete the cycle of our life, whatever that means for you, we have to leave the safety of the cave. We have to sometimes fight a little bit upstream. Sometimes we have to really do the difficult thing in order to get to a really beautiful place. Echoed by this, it's like we have to swim. If we don't swim out of this, if we don't actually do the hard work and the effort to actually pump our arms, pump our legs, swim up to the surface, we won't be able to break free. We have to be the ones that put the effort in to break free and make the decision to leave the comfort and safety and really just enjoy our lives, and to play, to have fun, to really, really get out there and experience everything that life has to offer. So I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you can find ways this week to play, even if it's small things, even if it's just, going for a run in the park and tossing a ball for the dog. Or it can be putting on music in your kitchen while you're cooking and having dinner. I was in my upstairs bedroom the other day, and I caught a glimpse of my neighbor across the way through in her kitchen, and she was just having a jam in her kitchen. It made me so happy. Like, it was such a beautiful thing to watch, because she was literally dancing like nobody was watching. I mean, she didn't know that I was watching. And I'm not a stalker, I promise. It was just a one-time thing. But it was just such a fun moment, because I just saw her joy, and she was just having so much fun. And it was just a moment. Maybe it was just one song. I didn't stick around to watch too long, but she was really enjoying herself. She was obviously cooking, and she was having a glass of wine. She had the music on, and she was just loving life. And even if we can find small moments like that in our lives, where we can just really, really enjoy ourselves, have fun, it really can help to lift this confusion and energy when we just step into the flow of life, when we stop trying to figure everything out for ourselves, and we really just live in the moment. If you ever have any doubts about how to do it, look at any dog. Even if you don't have your own pet, or maybe you're not a dog lover, but you can find plenty of videos of dogs online. Just go and watch a video of how dogs show up, how they just interact with life in every moment. They're so in the flow of things. They just enjoy themselves so much and have so much fun. So I hope that you can find opportunities to have fun this week, and don't give up. Keep going, keep swimming, keep fighting from the surface. Leave the comfort of the safety nest. It doesn't have to be all at once, but you can take single steps, one at a time, and then welcome in your blessings. So I hope you have a beautiful week, and I look forward to seeing you again. If you like this video, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, or share with a friend that might enjoy the message. Have a wonderful time. Bye.